But I want to talk a little bit about, this ties in a little bit with what we were talking about the last couple of weeks when I talked about taking 100% responsibility for the results that you get. And in every area of your life, instead of focusing on what everybody else, what actions everybody else took that created this outcome. When you live that way, you're always going to be frustrated with the outcome because you're giving up control to everybody else. And when you decide that, like, no, this is up to me, how can I make this better? It just gets a lot easier. I've been listening to a lot of stories from a lot of people. We've had, first to admit that there's been a lot of balls dropped in the operations department the last, I don't know, couple, 3 months. Teresa leaving was without notice, and Renee being newer on the job created some challenges and some missed deadlines and there's been things that have happened that are very unusual for us and is not how I've ever wanted to run this company. But I hear you. I want to make sure that you understand. First of all, I listen to all of this. This is like so important to me because of my desire for our first core value of performing with excellence. And I know that having an excellent outcome on all of your transactions is vitally important to the success of the organization and your success, and the client's happy and the real estate agents are happy, and it improves. It's just better for everybody. So don't think for a second that I don't care, because that is not me. Second, I've been doing this for 20, I've had this job for 23 years. And in 23 years, here's one truth that I know whenever somebody is not happy with an outcome. There are always two sides to every story. There's your side, there's the other side, and the truth somewhere lies somewhere in the middle. Always. There's never been a time where I'm 100% right and they're 100% wrong. That's just not fucking a thing. It's just not a thing. It's never been a thing. It'll never be a thing. And what's interesting is, and I live in a world where as the leader in this company, where I run the risk, you guys are, this is such a unique business in that all of you are really essentially self-employed people under this umbrella, W-2 employees that have tons of freedom every day. You guys can do whatever you want all day because that's the job. And that's a lot of what people signed up for. Like, yeah, I want to have that kind of freedom in my day. And that's awesome. And that's part of the attraction. And that freedom creates a lot of opportunity for things to be done the way that you want to do them. But what I know about doing this for 23 years, what I know about it is that for you to create the outcomes that you want, you have to follow some systems that require you to stay within the system in a lot of different areas that you don't get the freedom that you'd like in. And so, just know that I always know there's two sides to every story. And if you can't listen to the other side of the story, we're just going to not get along. And sadly, you'll leave. And I don't want that's the thing, is that I'm always worried that somebody's going to be so upset they won't listen to me. They won't have an open mind about, so what else don't I know about what took place here? Because it's usually very one-sided. And I think the reason that it is because the emotion is on your side. And I get it, because you've got customers at stake, and I get that. So that's what I'm asking everybody for, is I'm asking everybody for, you got to keep an open mind about, is there more to this story than what I know? Because here's all I see. And so what's more? You have to be open to hearing what other people think and what other people's experiences are. It's why there's so much conflict in the world. It's why there's conflict in Washington. Nobody wants to listen to anybody. Nobody wants to hear the other side of the story. Like, well, what else? What don't I know about what took place so we have to have that. Okay. And just know I'm listening, I'm addressing things, and I'll need everybody's cooperation to make it work. Okay. So but the biggest thing is being 100% responsible for your experience. If everybody would be 100% responsible for their experience, this gets so easy so fast. Instead of thinking, wow, if somebody else would have just done this, it would be so much better. It's like, oh, okay, well, that's then you giving up control to somebody else for the outcome. And then that's always going to be tougher to do. I know this because here's the truth. I think I'm 100% responsible for every result you guys get, because I hired you and I hired all the people that are here to support you. So it's 100% on me. That, like, if it's not working, and that's the responsibility that I take. It comes with the territory. Anybody want to take my job? Buy me out, take it over. I'd be fine. Like, I'll go away. And so, because the only thing what I deal with most of the time is your challenges. And that's what I get. So just so you know. Second, I've had Jacqueline has been reaching out to all of you regarding our closing processes. And the reason that I asked Jacqueline to do it isn't because I'm related to her and she's my daughter and she'll do what I say, because she fucking normally doesn't. But she's had that job. She's been the closer. She's been the operations manager, and she has your job. So she knows both sides of this better than any of you. I promise you. None of you know the roles as well as she does, because she's had both. And so she gets it. When I say she knows your role, you know your role, but I'm saying she knows the other side of this really, really well. And so I asked her, I think she's talked to most of you, if not all of you. And if she hasn't, she's going to, about the experience with the closing teams. And we're going to create, we have to get back to an environment where we're doing the same thing every time. I can't customize the process for everybody, because that would require, right now, I only have 12 loan officers. I want to get to 30, and I'm going to get to 40. I'm going to get to 50. I can't do 50 different closing processes. I just can't. And there's no such thing as scalability. Now, if you want to do all your own closings, I guess you could hire your own closer and have them sitting there waiting for you. But we have to have that consistency. And with that consistency, you can set the proper, here's why that's how you want this. Because with that level of consistency, you can set the proper expectation to create the result that we're all shooting for. That's all you need. You have to know what's going to happen, and then you can set the expectation. And that's what I have to get, that consistency. And that's what we're working towards. So the biggest challenge that loan officers have always had is holding the client accountable, setting an expectation for the client, and then holding them accountable to doing what they're supposed to do so that we can do what we're supposed to do. Most of the time, it's us trying to customize the process for a borrower who doesn't, maybe we think they don't want to do what we ask them to do, or we haven't even tried because we don't want to ask. We just want to, Lori's leaving for a 9:30 meeting she has. We want to make it, we think we want to make it better for the customer by not asking them for more stuff than what we need to ask them for. And when we do that, it never plays out very well. So just know that the example that I always use is that when I go to the dentist, I don't get to tell the dentist how to clean my teeth. The dentist sits my ass in the chair and says, put this bib on, sign your postcard for your name, and put your name and address on this postcard so we can mail you the next appointment reminder. We're doing your x-rays. I can't say, no, I don't want you to x-ray. I want you to x-ray just this side. I don't want you to x-ray, but I can't. Your customer shouldn't be doing that for you either. The customer wants to be led. And when you're confident in what you're telling the customer you need to create the result they want, they'll do whatever you freaking tell them. They will. And if they won't, it's really simple. It's like going, wow, so you want to pay cash for your house? Or not buy it? Because that's it. There's just we have to do what we have to do. And so that's what I'm not saying that this is a big issue. I'm just having this me regurgitating things that, I've known to be true, having had this job for 23 years. I want it to be the most awesome experience every single time. And the only way to do that is to be consistent and for everybody to do what they're supposed to do to create that consistent outcome. But it does start with a loan officer. I always tell you this, and every expert in this business will tell you. You don't have to listen to me. Every expert that's been in this business for a long time will tell you the same thing. The loan officer has to take 100% responsibility for the experience the customer's going to have, and the reason that you have to take 100% responsibility is you get paid the most money. That's just a fact. You get paid the most money, and you're the one who's going to pay the most. You're the one who's going to pay the most if it doesn't go well. That's why you want to take that responsibility. It's like, I'm going to make sure that I'm going to make sure that this experience for this customer is amazing, because when you do that, it will be. Okay. So, but it's when you take the shortcuts, or you don't hold the customer accountable, or you don't want to go ask the customer for something because you think it's inconvenient. And and whenever you feel that way, I promise you, it's because you didn't set the right expectation up front. So anyway, if you have anything that you'd like me to share with you further on these subjects, I'm happy to talk about that. So let me show you this screen. I'm sharing my screen. This is so This is so cool. This is so cool. So what you're looking at is a product is called Modex. And it's what I plugged in was I plugged in the Fort Collins Market Service Area MSA, the Denver Lakewood Aurora MSA, and the Colorado Springs MSA. And over here, so you can see those are the boundaries that I selected. Inside those boundaries, year-to-date transactions, just purchase loans. I didn't include refis, conventional FHA and VA. And then I applied that. And this is the volume. $18.7 billion worth of volume has been done. $2 billion on average per month have been done. The total units is 38,000. Look at the numbers. Look at August, 4,300 transactions. July was 4,800 transactions. September isn't all in the books yet because this number keeps rising every day because it's the recorded deeds that are showing up, right? But look at those numbers. January was 2,900. February was 3,300, 5,000, 4,999, 4,665, 5,438. I do not show you this. Please don't look at this and feel bad. Look at this and be excited, because if I know there are that many transactions being done and I'm just trying to pick a number, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There's 5,000 being done. I can get 8. I'm going to go find me 8 deals, because that's amazing. That's an amazing amount. I did not realize it was that many transactions. And that's just in the MSA. If I include the whole state of Colorado, the number jumps up. So pretty powerful information. If you read my Friday focus, did anybody not read it? Okay. So
not yet.
Not yet. Okay. Well, if you read my Friday focus, you're going to read it, because I talk about creating a lot more accountability in my life in a certain area, and I'm going to apply it to a bunch of areas. And what I've done is I've written out 5 $1,000. I'm going to share more of the details. I wrote out 5 $1,000 checks, and I'm mailing them. They're in this envelope. I'm mailing them to my buddy Carl, who I check in with every Saturday or Sunday. We do a check-in, accountability. I'm really good in a lot of areas of my life. I'm just, if you read the Friday focus, I'm not good in every area of my life when it comes to accountability. And so I've asked him, a short version of the Friday focus, I committed to limiting my alcohol intake every week. And I kind of did it for a couple of weeks, and then I kind of just blew it off and didn't think anything of it. And I didn't stay through with it. And I was thinking about this last week when I was in Park City with my buddy Rich. And I was like, why do we do that? Why do we say we're going to do something and then we don't do it? Why do we do that? Because that's so stupid. Why even start? And when you apply that to this business and this job, the cool thing about this business and this job is that your income has no ceiling. I mean, that's the most to me, that's the most attractive thing about the economic benefits of this job is there's no ceiling on your income. You can make as much as you make. You close 1, I pay X, you close 2, we double it, you close 3, we triple it. It's amazing. There are very few jobs like that. Right. And so the opportunity and the potential is off the charts. And if you could apply that level of logic. So I wrote 5 checks, I'm mailing them to Carl, and they're made out to the political campaign candidates I do not support. And if I don't do what I said I'm going to do, limit the number of alcoholic beverages I drink in a week, that last drink or every drink is going to cost me $1,000. I am not taking that last drink. I am going to stop at the number. I'm budgeting. I only had 2 drinks last night during the Bronco game. I'm fine. I didn't have a drink Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday. I got plenty. I've stored up for the weekend. I'm good to go. So, and I'm not going to binge drink on Sunday. So it's just, and my week's going to go from Monday to Sunday. But the point is that we got Q4 on our books, right? Right now we're in the middle of Q4. And then we're going to be talking about business planning for 2024, the rest of this month or the rest of this quarter. If you commit to something and you're willing to do this, I will hold you accountable. You will not fail. And I'm telling you that's the approach that I'm going to take with some of the recruiting that I'm doing is going, You want to achieve your goals? Because I will hold you accountable to doing it. I will make sure that you get it done if you'll commit. And if you will commit, I won't let you fail, because that's all this is. It's just somebody being willing to tell you the truth and hold you accountable. So what are you willing to commit to? Because that's all this is. When you see that there's that many transactions getting done every single month, the conclusion is clear. I'm just not talking to enough people, because that's a lot of deals. That's a lot of deals, and that's exciting. And I'm thrilled to see that. And part of the reason I harped on this is I was talking to my buddy, Tom Tuziant, who is a former branch manager for Fairway. And we were really close while we were both at Fairway, and still close. And he was talking about when he first got in the business. I can't recall what year it was exactly, but it was a shit year. And lots of people, it was kind of like this, but not this bad. And it was a shit year. And he was looking at all the business that was being done. And he's like, there's a lot of loans. I don't need that many to make a shit ton of money. I'm going to go get 6, 7, 8 deals every month. And then, his business blew up on him. And so I think the next year he did like 40 million after his first year in the business when he got in it. So, that's exciting to me. And I hope that's exciting to you. So, we'll be talking more about this, but just know that read that Friday Focus and start thinking about what kind of things can you do to create that level of accountability for yourself, because I'm in, I'll hold you accountable. It'll be fun. And it should be a lot of fun. And when you can find something that see, if I wrote those checks out to Boys and Girls Club, I'd be like, well, that's okay. Yeah, no, this is way different. This is way, way different. So anyway, that's it. That's what I wanted to share. Anybody have anything they'd like to add, or make sure you watch, I didn't finish it, but make sure you watch Barry's update this morning. There's a lot of smack talk about the housing market, and some good material in there that you can use for some social media posts this week and for the coming weeks, that the housing market is not going to do what these people are claiming, that the prices could drop 25 to 30%. That is insane. There's no way there's just no way that this can possibly happen unless there's some seismic geopolitical event, which changes everything, of course. But that's it. Anybody have anything?
I watched that update this morning, and when I saw that 25 to 30%, I'm like, what, are we talking about? Full U.S. economic collapse?
Right?
Like, that's insane.
It's crazy. So you're gonna want to like, I'd put some information out there if I were you.
Make sure you guys sign up for that. I think Barry's doing that thing on Tuesday, a webinar, and then there's that other one that he has on with. They're going to talk about the changes, the real estate buyer agent changes. I think that's like on November 2nd. Just make sure you sign up for those.
Right on.
Does anyone read my Breakfast with Dave's anymore, or should I stop sending?
Keep sending them.
Okay, Ryan.
Just don't send them to Ryan.
Yeah.
Just print them off and put them on his desk.
Nice. That's nice. Way to support each other, guys. That's awesome.